Mark Nation, thank you for joining us. We are blessed to be joined by Angie, the women's soccer coach at Old Dominion. Thank you for joining us, Angie. How you doing?
I'm good. Nice. It's a pleasure to be on this. I'm excited to get to chat to you guys. Sorry it took so long.
We're just blessed to have you joining us. Let's start back at the beginning. So you were hired about a decade ago, and you were taking over the program from basically as the second coach ever. I know it's the third technically, but can you talk to us about when you arrived on campus? What was your vision for the program, and what were kind of the hurdles you had to get over to get to this point now where you're a three-time conference champion?
Yeah, it's been quite the journey, Mike. I can't lie. I think it's you're right. It's a decade. Someone told me the other day it's 11 seasons, and you could have blown me down with a feather. I just couldn't believe that. But yeah, it's been a journey, and it's been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of good work. I think when I first came here, I think it's fair to say the program wasn't in a good place at that time. I think we a 350 Division One programs, we were touching close to the 300 mark, and so I think I was quite smart in saying the only way is up, right? So yeah, I'll take this gig. No, but we came a long way. But what's been important for me the whole time, and when I first came and spoke to Wood and Deb Polka, I said, I would love this opportunity, but for me, it's going to be a stepping stone. It has to be done. It has to be built the right way. It has to be sustainable so that every time we make a step, we make the next step. If you're looking for someone to come in and go from 1 win to 10 wins in a season, that's not going to be me, because we want to do this the right way here. So, I mean, they've been fantastic and been with us all the way, and appreciate the fact of how we wanted to build something that continued to grow. And so where we are now isn't just a consequence of the players that we've had or what we've achieved the past 2 or 3 years. I firmly believe that the players that we had at the start were the ones that began this journey with us. They laid the foundations. They set the culture here and allowed us the opportunity to keep bringing in the next best player, to keep bringing in the next talent, to keep building on, all the values that we have. So it's taken a bit. Don't I won't doubt it, but I think I'm immensely proud about how we've done it, the manner that we've managed to continue to play great soccer, and obviously now we've been able to get some just rewards. So it's been quite the journey. A lot of work, a lot of good work, and some really special people have made this happen along the way.
So that's something great to build on. You talk about the student athletes and how that has evolved over time. So let's talk about that a little bit. When you're looking for a student athlete to come to Old Dominion to continue to build the program, that's culture, values, skill sets, those sorts of things that you've had, what are you looking for?
Yeah, well, we kind of look for three things. One, obviously, being in a really competitive conference, the athletical part of it. Are they a good athlete? And that can be defined in so many ways. It could be, do they have some size? Do they have a presence on the field? Are they fast? Are they mobile? So that takes all different forms. But one, can they cope athletically with the big guns when we play them? Two, technically, can they deal with the ball under pressure? And that's a biggie for me. No matter whether you're a central defender or whether you're a striker, you got to be able to move the ball. We want to play soccer here. ODU women's soccer play good soccer, and that's important for us, and that will never change. So those two things are really important. The third one is the kind of intrinsic part that I believe as a coach we can nurture, but you have to have that desire right away to be a winner. And what does that mean? That means that you win the moment. It's not about saying I love to win. It's about someone that we see on the field that no matter what, they want to compete. It matters to them. What do they do to get better? So those things are really what we look for. And the fourth thing that underpins everything is character and personality. We have players here that on the field, you have no idea who they are off the field. That's because they're goofy, they enjoy life, they're friendly, they're kind, but on the field, it's all business. So that type of person who has good balance in life and is a good person. I don't care how good a player you are. If you're not of that mold that you will bring something to an environment, to bring something to the team, bring something to our culture, then it's not the right fit for us.
All right. So, as an outsider, not knowing that much about soccer, if I looked at Old Dominion soccer over the last few years, at least the last 2 seasons, I would say defense is a big focus of your play style. Based on all the shutouts you guys have pitched over the last 2 seasons, you already have 5 this season. Talk to us about your play style and what you want to see, like in an ideal game, what you want to see from your girls.
Yeah, well, we're always asked about our philosophy and our playing style and how we've been successful. And I think that comes down to a couple of things. One, when we don't have the ball, we want to dominate when we don't have the ball. So really what that means is from our forwards right through to our back line, that's why we have so many shutouts. It's not just that we have good defenders and a good goalkeeper. And that would be the easy answer from the outside looking in, but it's much more complex than that. We really press hard. Our strikers work hard. They set the tone. They set the press for us. Our midfield are incredible in covering the ground, and our backs are tough, aggressive players who want to win that moment. So that's important for us, our identity when we don't have the ball. We like to be aggressive. We want to win the ball in the attacking half. For me, it's common sense. The higher you press, when you win the ball, the closer to goal you are. Now, a lot of other teams play a different way. They play a little bit deeper in the press, but we want to be aggressive in that. Second thing, when we have the ball, we want to play. We want to move the ball. We want to create opportunity, but we don't want to possess the ball just for the sake of it. I don't think I'm blessed with the most patience in life. And they always say that your team kind of reflects your personality a little bit. So when we have it, we want to possess that ball, move it quickly, and go create chances. So those are 2 things that are important for our style and our identity. And then the third thing is transition. In my opinion, transition wins games. It can also lose you games. But we like players that are sharp, that can think. When we win it quickly, how can we go and hurt opponents? When we lose the ball, how can we quickly protect? So that's kind of a snapshot of what we try to do. And you talk about our defense being so strong. And it has been, and that's just down to, we have players here that have a great mentality to work hard. Like a parent said to me one time, I can't believe how hard your team work all the time, coach. And that's not something we ask for. They just do it. And that's when you know you have a culture here. There's nothing else will be accepted with our players apart from working hard for each other. And so when you replicate that, both when you don't have the ball and when you do have the ball, you can, if you can get the tactics right, then you can set yourself up to be pretty successful, I think.
So that soccer DNA, is that the way that you played coming up? Is that something you've developed as you've coached? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because when I played, I like to pass the ball. I love to be on the ball and play. And it's funny because sometimes as a coach, I think a lot of potentially younger coaches think, oh, I want to play this way because that's how I played, but I think there becomes a time in your maturity level as a coach where I think you also recognize the things that you weren't good at and what limited your ability to be successful. So for me, that aggression, that desire, that press, that toughness, I think is something that I don't think I in some ways didn't represent as much as a player. I wanted to play. I wanted the ball. I wanted to move the ball. I enjoyed that part of the game. So we still do that, but also I recognize that to win more, you need players who have that mentality. When you defend, there's 2 types of players. There's a player who defends because that's what they do in the moment, or there's a player who loves to defend. And we are blessed with players who just relish that challenge and that opportunity. So I guess our DNA is in my mind, how I think the game is enjoyable for players, and 2, how you can be successful, and 3, it's good to watch. I think that's kind of where I've established maybe my philosophy.
All right. Speaking of this defense and the heart and the determination of your players, today Ashlyn Kuya was named Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week. Jim Heath shared an interesting stat with me earlier today. Since September 30th, 2023, she has played in all but 24 minutes of a possible 2020 minutes.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. Hats off to her. I mean, it's every game this season and a couple of the last season that she's playing all 90, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit, Ashlyn, and kind of the player and person she is?
Well, all the things that I hold dear, all the things that I think are important, Ashlyn probably has them. If we take talent to the side for a second, she is a hardworking kid. She's a lot of joy to be around. She's a lot of fun. And in my experience, the players who get to the highest level are the ones who know when not to take themselves seriously enough. They can relax, they can enjoy good company, they can have a laugh, they can be goofy. And Ashlyn is all those things. But you put that kid step her over that white line and she's all business. And when Ashlyn was a freshman, our very first game last year, she didn't start. We had a fifth-year player playing, and she had to come off after, I think it was like 20 minutes with a head knock, potential concussion. And we put Ashlyn right in. And I don't think she's looked back from that very moment. So you talk about players taking opportunities and running with it. And I have to say that she's in amongst the best that I've coached, and that means here and, in Europe, because it's not just down to her technical ability, it's her ability to read situations, to defend those moments. She's a big, strong, physical kid, but she does it. She wins the ball through using the presence and the ability that she has. And she makes the game easy for others. There's no surprise that we have a freshman in Grace Hillis who's done the exact same thing. She's came in, played right next to her, and Grace looks so calm and comfortable. And I think a big part of that is Ashlyn, because she's just so reassuring. She makes things easy for you. She doesn't make players around you nervous. But she's a centre back amongst many great ones that we've had here. We've had Emily Roberts that was all conference. We have Jackie Stroud, who was, every ability to be recognised she achieved in her final year here, and was also a captain. So, Riley Kennett, we've had really, really good centre backs. And I don't think there's any shock or secret to the fact how that happens. I think we take pride in recruiting good centre backs, but also Michelle Barr, the associate head here, was captain for Scotland over 80 times as centre back, and she does such a phenomenal job with her back line. So, but Ashlyn's a special player, special kid, and she's a big part of what we do here.
So let's talk about that a little bit, the student athletes and prospective student athletes. It's one of the things that we've talked with Tennant about in recruiting, and what he said, at least in the men's game here locally, it's all at the club level. That's where the talent predominantly is. I've got a few friends that have daughters that play high-level club soccer here in the 757. From a youth perspective, for those young girls that are looking to play potentially Division I soccer at a high level, what should they be doing?
Yeah, number one, go play with boys. Go play with and against boys. They talk about females being disadvantaged with opportunities and all these different areas in life. But there's one thing that you can do if you're a female soccer player, and that's go play with and play against boys, because that will make you faster, more physical. Technically, you have to do things quicker because there's more pressure on you. So I would say go and take advantage of that at every possible opportunity, because it's going to make you better. Probably better than any other thing you can do is go play with boys, because it will hands down make you a better player. It has to, because of the environment you'll be in all the time. Yeah, you're right. We don't really tend to look at high school at all, because in girls soccer, I don't think it's. I think it's not a level that we see a lot of things that we would recruit from, and So it's all about club for us, for our sport. And so get yourself in a good club environment. And that doesn't mean to say just sign up with the best ECNL or academy team. It's get the best coach, someone who is actually going to make you better, not someone that's going to stand on the side of the pitch and scream at you for 90 minutes. That's not coaching. That's just, you could just be called a criticizer, then you're not a coach. Coaches inspire, they motivate, they lift players, they help them with things that they want to get better in or need to get better in. That's what coaching is. Coaching is not standing criticizing and telling someone they need to do better. So to get yourself in the best environment that allows you to be confident, to actually get technically better. And then I just think, hands down, go play with boys. When I was playing national level, that's the first thing we did. We played against the under 17 boys all the time. And I can share with you quite candidly, I chased the ball for 90 minutes. And all I did was chase, because they were so quick, they were so physical, they were so good, but it made you think quicker. Every moment you got the chance to win a duel or make a little first-time pass was a victory, because you were beginning to solve things at a higher level.
All right. So I want to touch on some of the outreach you guys do. I'm a big fan of all the championships you're winning, but I'm also a big fan of any time ODU reaches out to the community and brings them in. And you guys have done that with your sisters program. Talk to us about how you developed that and kind of what you've seen, the impact of it since you've started that program.
I think, first of all, we all talk about outreach and volunteering. And my kind of background is, our passion also is in sports development. And a big thing that's important in that is that you don't just drop into a kid's life for 1 hour, give them the time of their life, and then you don't see them again. For me, that's not making a difference in your community. I think that's just having a fun day, and I think there's so many athletes give so much of their time to doing these types of things, and I think it's great. But I also feel passionate about, can you do something that has longevity, that really makes an impact? So we got this idea that, we did festivals before, we did little coaching clinics when I was first here. I had the team go into all these different schools and do little sessions to try and get them introduced and excited about ODU women's soccer again, because we didn't have that excitement when I first came here. And then we decided to start this program called Monarch Sisters. And it's been, off the field, it's been one of the things that I'm most proud of here at ODU. And I say that all the time. If you roll up here on a Wednesday night and you see 60, 70 plus little girls between the age of 4 and 11, plus all the parents and then the little brothers and all that running about crazy in the area, you'll see exactly what I mean, because you don't just roll up and they're standing in lines kicking a ball and doing a skill drill. They're hanging off the shoulders of our players. They're jumping all over them. They're doing piggybacks. They're high-fiving. They're sitting chatting to them. It's a program that basically we bring these young girls in, and we do it in 6-week blocks in the spring, in the summer, and the fall. And every young girl that signs up has one of our players as their big sister. And we keep that big sister through the length of the time that they're with this program. So what that basically does is, through sport, through soccer, any vehicle you like, any sport situation, it could be art, drama, it doesn't matter. They have the chance to build that bond with one of our players. And our players in return have a sense of being a role model, what that means, how they can give something back. They come in for this program and it's a 75-minute session. They do a little bit of soccer, they do fun. We try and teach them a different skill every week. They dance to ice cream and cake at the very end, which is really cool. But the other thing that we do is teach them a value every week. And it's a value that's similar to our values. So it might be simple as how to be a good teammate, how to be a good friend, how to treat everyone with respect, even though they look a little bit different or sound a little bit different. So we spend a little 10 minutes doing some fun little activity and tease that out. And honestly, it's amazing. And the end result is, we're playing games on a Thursday or a Sunday night, and these little kids are standing with a banner. They're over getting their jerseys signed. Hey, they're waving to their big sister. Our guys are babysitting for the family when the parents need it. Sometimes they go around to the house for dinner. It just, for me, it encapsulates everything that being able to impact and influence and make a difference in your community is. So to say I'm proud of it is an understatement. And the other part of it, from an ODU perspective, the parents pay $100 for 6 weeks, the kids get a t-shirt, and the remainder goes into the fundraising part for our program. So our players do it for nothing. They do it voluntary, we do it voluntary, and any money that comes in helps our travel or helps something for the program. So it's a win-win-win all the way home. It's amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know on a number of occasions, Mike and I have been walking down the street and we've seen your players with the little ones, and the smiles on the faces of the little girls are awesome. But even what's cooler is the smiles on your players' faces. It's
Yeah.
obvious that both of them are getting a lot out of it. So it's really special to see just as a bystander walking down the street.
No, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that, because it is. And our freshmen come in and they are terrified. They're like, I've never coached before. I don't know what to do coaching. And the other thing I should say is our players organize it. They set up the content, they deliver it. We have no input. We basically say, hey, come on, this is part of leadership. This is part of being a team. And after that first night, the freshmen are all about it. So you're absolutely right. It's everyone grows through it. It's a nice little project we have going.
All right. My next question is why ODU? Two-part question. One, why ODU for you when you decided to accept a job? And then why ODU when you talk to prospective student athletes coming?
Wow, that's a great question. Why ODU for me? I spent 8 years at Dartmouth, loved it in the Ivy League, and then got the opportunity to go back home and coach for the national team. And for me, obviously, I'm very passionate about my country, and I thought great opportunity. And I went back, and honestly, I missed the competitiveness. I missed the building aspect. I missed being around, a group of young women every day, because you don't do that as a national coach. So I thought, I think I might kind of like to go back. And this job came up, and I contacted a good friend of mine, Steve Swanson, who's at UVA. And I said, I've heard about Old Dominion. What is it? And he said, Angie, it's a sleeping giant. Great location, great facilities. Their men's program's doing really well right now. And so I put in my application, came over, and just loved it. And what I loved about it, like being Scottish, you're always the underdog. And so you got to play to your strengths in life, right? And I thought, well, everything here is set up in a way that they have great facilities, great location. I really enjoyed meeting the administration and what their aspirations were. And I really felt that there was an opportunity to do something special. A program that had all the structure in place, but really I was so moved by the fact that they were like, our women's program can be great. We know it can. We just need someone with a little bit of vision and belief. And so from there on, I was like, let's do this. And, great people here. Wood Selig is fantastic. He really has supported me all the way and just said, look, we believe in you. Just tell us what you need. We'll try and support you through it. And I just said, I need you to be patient. I need you to allow us to do this the right way. And so that's why ODU. And the irony is that I actually came here on vacation the year before, just randomly. I was over in the US doing a couple of camps, and I thought, hey, maybe I'll go vacation there for a week. And when this job came up, I'm not great at geography, but it came up and I'm like, this looks really familiar. And then I added them together and I'm like, oh, Norfolk's really next to Virginia Beach. So idiot. But sometimes I believe in fate. And then with regard to recruiting, I'm a big believer that we bring recruits and their families in and we say, this is us. This is the location. This is the campus. This is what we do. This is how we do it. Do you like it? And if they feel the same passion from what we're telling them and how we do things and the environment that our players establish every day on that field, I know right away when that kid wants to come here. And that's a pretty neat thing, because if we find someone that we really feel passionate about in every aspect, and they come in and you see their eyes light up and you see the parents say, she loves it. I just know this is the right place, then I think you know, and you can feel confident in everything you've set up here, that you'll find the right players that fit right into what you're trying to do here. And that's proven to be the case for us most of the time.
All right, Angie, we are running out of time. So I want to help promote this next Friday. We're playing at South Alabama at 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
And the next Thursday, we'll be at home against Georgia Southern. Fans, please tune in on ESPN Plus. If you were trying to tell a fan one thing they should look out for in a game to make them maybe a smarter fan, what would that one thing be?
I would say try and look at, we talk about being together. We have all around this building, our first kind of mantra was together we rise. And that's because we try and do everything we can together. So when we don't have the ball, I would hope that our fans would look and say, by the way, they're really connected. The spacing between them is really good. So we try and do that to make sure that it's not easy to play through us, Likewise, when we have the ball, we try and be together in our attack. So if you kind of take yourself away from the emotion of the game that you're watching for a minute and try and look at the shape and what we do and what we're trying to do, I would hope that you would maybe begin to kind of understand what we're trying to achieve. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does. And thank you for that. We will talk more about this current season next time you're on the show in a couple weeks. So bear with us. We were trying to make sure everyone knew the background of what you built here, because it's phenomenal what you've done. 3 straight conference championships. There's only tennis is the only thing that can compare right now. And I don't know if you're getting enough credit or support from our fans. So I hope they realize how special of a program you've built. Thank you so much for joining us. Go Monarchs.
I appreciate that, Mike, and I appreciate your time. So kind of you. And yeah, anyone that we can get to come support these amazing young women is awesome. So I really, really do genuinely appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Go Monarchs, Coach, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.